What's up, Melanated family? This is your boy Harrison bringing you a brand new episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. I want to welcome everybody to the show. How's everybody doing today? This is a good Friday. I'm ready to get started, you know what I mean? A lot of stuff been going on. Like I always say, if this is your first time tuning into the show, we do a few things here. I'm a big proponent of our community supporting one another and understanding the relevance of black businesses and how important it is to not only support black businesses, but be aware of where they are. Tell your friends about them. If you have one yourself, make sure you talk about it. So we talk a lot about black businesses, the economy of black people, like how much money we spend outside of our community is absurd. So it's important just to try to circumvent them funds, bring them back to the neighborhood. So on the show, I talk about black businesses. On the show, we talk about different news stories. We like specific things going on in the melanated community that I think we need to worry about. Sometimes we get too caught up in what Cardi B is doing. No disrespect to the sister, but what Cardi B is doing, the Megan Stallion shit. I mean, some of these topics don't really deserve our attention like that. You know what I mean? So I don't like to be in people's business about what they do and what they life. It's more so let's look at something that happened and let's dissect it and come up with the best resolution so we can possibly learn something from it, right? Also on the show, we have a topic. The topic can be about family. The topic can be about our relationships with our women, a little bit on politics. I'm not a political expert, but I know what the hell I'll be looking at, so I like to kind of touch on that a little bit too, you know what I mean? And also, so today, we're going to do things a little bit differently, though. So that's typically how the format of the show works. But today, as you can see, I got a guest. My lifelong friend, JB, is here with me today. And we are going to discuss when and when not to be outraged. Recently, there is a video circulating with something that happened in our city. So we felt like it was our duty to kind of come on here and talk about it at length. A young man was pulled over in the Elk Grove area. Things transpired. His mother was extremely upset. There's video footage of it. So I just wanted to talk about that scenario in context, right? And typically that story would have been just one of my news stories, right? Which typically lasts 6 to 10 minutes. But like I just said, we felt it deserved more dialogue. We want to dig into the situation just to give the best analysis. And of course, we don't know everything, but it's important that we look at all of these incidents from every angle possible, right? So let's get everything going, man. I'm feeling good.
Right.
All right, so black businesses first. First black business. So, in my opinion, because I don't have daughters, right? But in my opinion, black women, I understand how difficult it can be to do a black girl's hair, right? Like I'm not gonna deny the fact that just from observation, it looks like that could be a difficult job. But I do know putting weaves and all type of unnatural shit in your child's hair may not be a good thing for them neither when they're young or when they get older. And as a man, just to be honest, y'all, I don't mind a woman wearing a weave or wearing something unnatural as long as it's like not everyday type of shit, you know what I mean? So learning how to take care of your hair, in my opinion, is extremely important. So we have a company called Healthy Roots Dolls. Now, Healthy Roots Dolls is a toy company that creates dolls and storybooks that empower young girls and represent the beauty of our diversity. 65% of the world's population has curly, wavy hair. In 2016, Dove conducted a study and found that only 4 out of 10 girls love their hair, or love their curls, rather. Toys impact how we think, act, and perceive ourselves. So, when girls can't find dolls that look like them, it negatively impacts their self-esteem. This is why Healthy Roots Dolls created Zoe. Zoe is the first Healthy Roots doll, and this is a little black doll, basically, that shows you different hairstyles that you can actually do. So this is a way that your young girl could actually practice doing her own hair. You know what I mean? This is actually some brilliant shit. Now, the Healthy Roots website goes on to say that we go beyond just painting a doll brown. We create an educational play experience with curl care. Healthy Roots dolls have a medley of facial features, skin tones, and hair textures that can be styled in countless ways. Our dolls have multiple interests and aspirations, which exposes young girls to their own unlimited career potential. Our goal is to represent the voices of young girls in the toy industry with products that empower, educate, and inspire self-love. That's some beautiful shit, family. Yes. So if you have a little girl, I highly, highly recommend going to Healthy Roots uproar.com. At the bottom of the video, you know, I section out my videos from the businesses and the topic or whatever. So I'll make a separate video of this. At the bottom, you'll see the website. Please, family, Christmas is coming. I'm sure you got a birthday coming. Whatever the case may be, these are the type of companies that we need to be attracted to. Now, I went to the website, extremely professional. Because of COVID, I think the orders, if you ordered now, you wouldn't get it until late October or something like that because of all the COVID shit. But in any case, if you have a little girl, this is a great way to begin her in the self-love process of loving her hair and not putting all these damn chemicals in her hair. So by the time she's 21, 22, she ain't got no goddamn edges. See? You know what I mean? So let's make it a point to support things of this nature, right? So go to healthyrootsdolls.com. That's healthyrootsdolls.com. Get your little girl a doll today. You feel me? All right, last business. And this is a business I should have spoke about several weeks ago, in my opinion, but it kind of slipped my mind. And like I mentioned, I like to mention businesses that are nationwide. So if somebody that's in Texas is watching me or a different state, they'll be able to go to the company's website to get whatever product or service that may be. But sometimes I gotta show love to people locally who are doing things that I believe in, right? So we have, in the Sacramento area, we have something called the African Marketplace, right? Now, the African Marketplace is located on 2251 Florin Road. First and third Saturdays is where all the vendors come. Every day of the week, some of the shops are actually open. But when you go there, you can find food, you can find clothing, there's different accessories, there's gift shops. I think there's like an attorney in the building, specialty stores. I seen like a little church there. There's a shop that sells glasses. The last 2 or 3 pair of glasses that I've actually purchased, I've gotten them from there. But here's the point, family. All of us are familiar with Black Wall Street and the successes of that type of mentality, right? I speak about the African Marketplace because of some real shit. In my city, this is the beginning of a Black Wall Street. Like, they've been doing it for I think 4 or 5 years now. It's expanding. So I want everybody in Sacramento, if you've never attended the African Marketplace before, please do yourself that benefit. Go in there, see what they like, or see if they have things that you like. I've told people about the African Marketplace before, and their mind goes right to some deep African shit. So they thinking they in there selling just bamboo and incense. You know what I mean? When if I said black marketplace, you would be like, okay, they got Jordans and goddamn weeds. You know what I mean? So we associate an African with some shit that's not us. Well, no, that's us, family. That's where we come from. So in there's even like a little convenience store in there. So if you need toilet paper, you need toothpaste, all these different things, it's right in there. And of course, they have a beauty salon. They have, if you need to get some bundles and all this kind of shit, you can find that in there as well. But the point is, visit. Make it a point to go if you're in the Sacramento area. If you somewhere else, maybe your town has like a version of a African Marketplace. Let me know about it. I'll big you up. I'll talk about it on the show. If your town does not, start thinking about it. This is just a strip mall where several black businesses purchase buildings inside of this strip mall. Like, it's not too difficult if you think about it. You know what I mean? Again, we spend a lot of money with people outside of our community. We spend a lot of money on fuck shit. We got a lot of nice cars out here. We got a lot of jewelry out here. You know what I mean? We got a lot of Gucci bags out here. I'm not telling you how to spend your money, family. But if you care about black folks, because everybody talks this revolutionary shit. Everybody talks about, if you don't like police brutality, if you don't like the prison industrial complex, there's a way you can be a revolutionary without picking up a gun, without going on the front line. Where you spend your money at? That's a revolutionary, and I keep saying this on every show. That's a revolutionary act, family. Spending your money with black folks. When you need a product or services, this is all I ask you to do. When you need a product or service, before you go anywhere else, because of course we gotta go to Walmart for some shit. Like, there's some shit you gotta go to the grocery store for. But a lot of items, before you buy them, before you buy that shirt, before you buy that bundle, before you get a tow truck just out of the newspaper or out of 411 or something like that, see if somebody black is offering that same product. Now, here's the caveat. We not gonna do no nigga shit though. So just because they black, that don't mean we gonna support them. You gotta be professional. You gotta be up to par. If I'm looking at going to you or a white company, Both have to be professional. See, we shouldn't give nobody our hard-earned money just because they look like us. But no, you're professional, you're on time. So the only difference between you and that other company is that you black, tiebreaker goes to you. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, you know what I mean? So if you're in the Sacramento area, please go to the African Marketplace. The best time to go, I would say, is the first and third Saturdays of the month. First and third Saturdays of the month. I've been there several times. And just on some real shit, for me, being someone who's inspired by black excellence, being someone who believes in empowering black folks, the energy there is just crazy. Think about that. Like, whenever you go around a whole bunch of black folks that's not on no dumb shit, you know what I mean? That's not on no dumb shit. Go in front of a lot of black folks where everybody there, you can tell everybody's about empowering each other and not hurting each other.
Great energy.
It's the energy in the air where it make you want to stay there. You know what I mean? This is like when I go to like sometime here in Sacramento, there's different African professors that'll come. Like Renoko Rashidi came here 4 or 5 months ago, right? And I attend these things, and unfortunately, it's not 300 people there like it need to be, but it's a small group of people, and you can feel the energy. Mm-hmm. You can feel the energy of empowerment. You can feel the energy of the people in the room wanting things to be better. Everybody's smiling at you. Everybody's hella nice. You know what I mean? I think, honestly, that's kind of the same type of feeling a church person may get when you going in the church and you fellowshipping and just the group think mentality, right? Everybody
like-minded ones.
People are like-minded. Whenever you're around like-minded people, that energy that frequency kind of roams around everywhere. Even now, see, that's when it's negative energy, it does the same thing. You know what I mean? That's when we have clubs and different environments where shit be getting shot up and all that.
That's right.
Because everybody there on some bullshit.
Jumped off.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you come and you want some positive shit, much better results, right? Mm-hmm. So go to the African Marketplace, 2251 Florin Road. Mm-hmm. If you've never been there and you're in Sacramento, please do yourself a favor. Go to the African Marketplace, buy something. After you buy something, go to social media, show what you bought. When you go there, take your phone out, do a video of the environment, right? Like, we use our phones for a lot of fuck shit sometime when we can be using them to help people. We can be using them to shed light on what needs to happen in our community, right? Mm-hmm. So go to the African Marketplace today. All right, now, this is what the show's gonna be about today. Me and JB was talking about it, right?
Right.
And what we gonna do, I'm gonna lay out, from my perspective, everything I've read, all the information I've been able to gather, the videos that I've seen, we're gonna talk about this situation. So again, in Elk Grove on the 13th of September, a young man got pulled over.
5 days ago.
5 days ago, a young man got pulled over by an Elk Grove police officer in front of his mother's house. Now, I know in our community, we suffer from a trauma when it comes to all the police forces. Like me personally, a cop car, a police uniform.
Instant anxiety.
I get anxious around their ass. Like I can't be that close to a cop. It just, shit don't feel right? So I understand what our ancestors had to go through. See, I understand how the slave patrols was the original police forcing in America. Stopping the motherfucking asking them for their ID. That was slave patrol shit. Show me your paperwork before I hang your black ass, right? So we dealing with that today. So in this situation, the young man gets pulled over by the cop, right? He pulls over in front of his mother's house. Now, it's important to note, because I want to be as factual as possible before I give my perspective. It's important to note that the officer on her loudspeaker, asked him to pull over on the side of the road on the right shoulder.
Right shoulder.
Because when you get pulled over, if I'm right behind you going right, I want you to pull over on the right shoulder.
That's right.
That's typical protocol, as we've seen, right? So we can agree that typically when you get pulled over, you pull over right in front of the officer. Uh-huh. They commence to do whatever they're gonna do, right? Now, in this situation, and this is what, because again, the mother being there for her son, the idea of protecting your son in the face of adversity, protecting your son in the face of oppression, you better stand in front of your fucking son. Come on now.
It's mama bear mentality.
Mama bear mentality. So we understand that where her energy is coming from, right? Mm-hmm. But here's what happened. So instead of pulling over on the right shoulder, the young man pulls over on the left shoulder in front of his mother's house. See, and this is, in my opinion, family, I know people out there feel differently. My boy JB feel a little differently about it too. But pulling over on the left shoulder, that's when the problem began to me. Because once he pulled over on the left shoulder, the mom comes out. The mom instructs him to get out of the car, right? She instructs him to get out of the car. And in my opinion, family, when I look at police interactions, we behind enemy lines. Once you get pulled over by a cop, once you're in a situation with a cop, you're behind enemy lines. You got to conduct yourself a particular way. And in this instance, pulling over the left-hand shoulder, that's the first problem, right? He gets out of the car. Now, family, I'm gonna be completely fucking honest here. You can't tell your kid to get out the car when they get pulled over by the cop. You know what I mean? How'd you feel about that part of the story, JB?
You know what? As far as her instructing her son to jump out of the vehicle in that situation, she was a bit hasty. I think she should have waited a little bit longer and seen what the cop was trying to do. I think she was trying to protect her boy, but the way she went about it in some facets were a little bit overbearing for me. I do understand what she was doing, what she's trying to do, and what she feels like she has to do right now in the climate of our society. The very telling situation for me was, I think the boy was 22.
21 or 22, to my understanding, y'all. He could be between 20 and 22, to my understanding.
There was a very, very naiveness about this boy in this video. And the mother kind of stood up for him, but it was almost to the point of where it was like he wasn't the age he was.
Like he was younger.
Yeah, he was younger. He came, but he had the proper credentials.
He did. College student, as his mom said. So he wanted. Now we got to understand too, like full context. The officer, when she approached, to me, it's a little awkward. Even I understand what cops have done to us. I'm trying to be fair as possible.
And are
doing to us in this particular situation. You pull somebody over, for one, they pull to the left to a garage that's open. People start coming out of the garage. You get out of the car, right? So in the sister's video, you see that she's talking to the cop, trying to see what's going on, right? Like, why ain't give him the ticket, give him the ticket, give him the ticket. I'm thinking, damn, why don't you just give him the ticket? But here's the scenario. You pull somebody over, they jump out the car, you go back to your car, they can go get a strap. You go back to your car, more people can come out with strap. You create a hasty type of environment by getting out of the car. That's what I think. Now, she had on a Blue Lives Matter band. That's some fuck shit. She had on a Blue Lives Matter mask.
The cop did.
The cop did.
Yeah.
That can mean anything.
Right.
That can mean she is racist. Let's not get it fucked up. But in this video, especially the cop's angle of the video, the mother, and this is my opinion, y'all. The mother seemed to be the antagonist. Now, how do you feel about that? Like in totality, because I know you were saying, like as a black mom, I mean, what's she supposed to do, right?
Yeah. You know what? This video is one of those videos I go like this with a bit. In my situation, in this situation, I shouldn't say my situation. This situation right here specifically, what I saw was a mother who was really trying to protect her boy, who was very, very nervous and paranoid, who indirectly may have pressed a button in the officer to make the officer feel like she has to defend herself, stand her ground now, and call more backup. Because, as my brother said, people were coming out of the garage and the video. I wish she would have let the boys sit in the car longer, get the ticket. We're done. But I do understand the mother's, what do you say, fear, rage, anger. She's worried about her college student son, who seems like an upstanding, never been in any trouble. Give the boy a ticket or move on. But the completion of this video, what did you feel like? What's the what do you call? What is the the conclusion?
Well, the conclusion, it seems like once the let me say something real quick.
Yeah.
So the officer got out, and the officer asked, "Are you on probation or parole?" Now we can view that question a few ways, right? When you black, and a cop asks you on probation or parole, you kind of feel a way about that. I read some information about, is that a requirement? Now that's that's not a requirement. Like it's a part of their procedure per se, but that ain't some shit you have to ask.
And mind you, she had all of this paperwork in her hand.
She did.
So she could have ran it.
She did.
And figured out everything she needed to needed to know without asking them anything.
True.
So,
and then I think too, like when soon as the officer, and I will say this, y'all, as soon as the officer got there, the woman began speaking. She was the antagonizer, family. I gotta say that. She was extremely aggressive. And to me, she didn't need to be that aggressive. I get this is your son, this is your baby, but my son not gonna be another hashtag, da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm with you. I don't want him to be another hashtag either. But you kind of exacerbated the situation by your levels of speaking, because it's how I see it. Again, you behind enemy lines, family. Yo raised tone could have made her reach for the gun. See? And another thing, and you can, and then we can go back and forth about this.
Yeah.
She said the cop had her hand on the gun. And again, I'm normally with us, man. I know how they got their hand on their shit, trying to be intimidating.
Yes.
This white woman, in my opinion, did not have her hand on her gun.
But at the same time, and that video with the body cam, we couldn't really see her. Why would she say she did if she didn't? They do that. That's kind of standard procedure for intimidation.
Yeah.
She told her to get back in the driveway. The mother, get back in the driveway. She stood in the driveway. That's fine. He's detained. He can't leave because he ran a stop sign.
Well, here's what I would think. I would say the saying he can't leave is this thing. You guys are out the car. I pulled this kid over. He's out the car in front of his house. He can run now. He can go get a gun from under something over there now. Like that part of everything, family, fucked it up for me. You gotta stay in the car. Yeah, police fuck with us. Yeah, we gotta deal with these racist motherfuckers all the time. Yeah, it's been going on since we got to this country.
Yeah.
But when we are at fault in some of these situations, we need to be as clear as possible.
But the panic button for this mother has been hit. I think it had been hit for all of George Floyd. You know, and I mean, how many since? Jeez.
So you saying because of just looking at the news,
yes,
and everything that's been going on with us, that'll make any mom be in a frantic state.
Frantic state. Did she? Who? Her energy level was definitely heightened, but right now, can we blame her for being panicked about what she's witnessing on the news? Not to mention, when you can be a young white man and walk down the street with an assault rifle and lay a couple people down, then you just jump in the car and drive.
Very true.
And leave. And your mom defends you because you're 17.
Very true.
And black boys are being shot in their back with nothing. They're with absolutely no weapons, nothing.
True.
Not even a cap gun.
True. So here's the thing, right? I think if we are going to respect the authenticity of all these incidents, like we seeing all these different incidents happen with our people, I want to be able to know that what I'm watching is clear. Yeah. Like I want to be able to support my people regardless of what's going on. But at the end of the day, when I look at all sides of the video, I have to say the mom was kind of aggressive, right? And another thing, this is the thing too. This is just me personally. You pull my son over, he's staying in the car, I'm going to get back a little bit, make sure you ain't doing no fuck shit, make sure ain't no gun being drawn or none of that, but you going to talk to my son. I'm not going to prevent you from talking to my son. No, don't talk to him. No, don't talk to her. No, you talk to me, officer.
If he's a minor,
that's
now we're preventing you from speaking to him.
If he's a minor, but if he's not a minor, you got to kind of let this young man be a man. You kind of standing in front of him and again,
because you hopefully you have talked to him about these situations before.
Yeah.
And here we are. And again,
and much respect to the sister. You know what I mean? But you jumping in front of him.
Much respect.
You jumping in front of him like she finna do something. Maybe in your mind you felt she actually had her hand on her gun. More respect to your sister. The video I seen that she posted, it didn't. Her hand she has on this big ass belt. Her hand is just sitting on top of the belt. Now, I could say, okay, if you want to say her hand is sitting on the top of the belt on the side where the gun is, okay, I'll give you that. But hand on the gun, I wouldn't say that. We've seen plenty of videos where cops are just assholes, where it's obvious they're trying to aggravate the situation. They trying to antagonize the situation
on everybody.
So the shit can go left. I didn't see that here. So I don't want to get into this outrage thing where we're outraged at everything and not really, because we got enough shit to deal with.
Oh.
We have a lot of valid instances that need our attention. And I'm not saying how she feel isn't valid, but as far as filing a complaint, as far as that officer being fired, as far as all that, I don't really see that as something that needs to happen. And motherfuckers might get mad at me a little bit, but I'm going to say this too. Women, in my opinion, a little more emotional than men.
No question about it.
The husband was sitting right there, in my opinion. You calm your woman down a little bit, and you use your logic, because we're a little more logical than women at times. Use your logic to diffuse the situation, because the yelling and screaming, that officer could have been like, let me pull my shit out to make sure these niggas don't try nothing. You see what I'm saying?
The mother definitely did some. The mother definitely, her heightened sense, it was a bit much. I think her man could have stepped in and calmed her down a little bit, and let the boy deal with the cops on his own and fall back a little bit. But I do see why the mom was that way. At the same time, it's a dangerous situation. You got to be very, very careful when we're dealing with these officers. And I don't think she really handled it the right way. But at the same time, I can't blame her for handling the way she did.
Now, okay, no, I feel exactly what you're saying, because a couple of people who follow me, sent me the video and wanted me to speak on it or whatever. And I think a big part of my platform is making sure that we address how we're treated.
You're right.
I don't care how many times it happened.
Right.
Until the shit stops, we need to address it. Right? But also, what I'm learning, at each show goes by, each day goes by, as I learn more, as I evolve more.
Right.
I'm not with the whole black on black crime shit, right? Like, when we look at political pundits and Republicans and shit, they'll use this black on black crime narrative to kind of criminalize us. That's not coming from a good place. We know that's on some fuck shit.
It's proximity crime.
All day long.
All day long.
However, when we do something wrong, we got to be able to call each other out too. We got to be able to, because when it's some police shit, when it's some shit being done to us, we at the top of the rooftop yelling. See? But when we do something a little wrong, we got to be able to call each other to the table and say, you know what? Maybe brother, sister, you could have done this differently. You know what I mean? Because I use the term coon. Some people don't like that when you call another person a coon, which to me is an action, right? It's not a goddamn verb.
Terry Crews said you haven't made it till you're called a coon. That's Terry Crews.
Which is some coon shit to actually say that.
That's some coon shit to say.
You know what I mean?
How coonish are you?
So some men need that goddamn title.
Yeah.
So I just don't throw that shit around loosely.
He earned it.
But if you disagree with black people, you shouldn't be called a coon. Just because you disagree, you shouldn't be called a coon. It's your actions. It's why you're disagreeing. It's who you're aligning yourself with, right? All this goddamn shit matters. Now, another thing I'll say about the video is the sister told her son, see why I told you don't trust white people?
This is what she says.
Now look, man, I am the most empowering, righteous black motherfucker you gonna meet. I know who these devils is. I know how white supremacy work. I know how racism work. I'm the biggest proponent of calling that shit out. But there is no absolutes in the universe, family. Right? Because I'm even one that say there's no good cops, right? But I'm not speaking to the point of there isn't a cop on the force that don't want to hurt nobody. Yeah, there is. But if you're a part of a racist ass faction, dirt gonna get on you too.
Yes.
If you got on the uniform of somebody that fucked me up, it's hard for me not to put y'all into the same boat. But to say all white people, and again, I'm not defending white folks.
Yeah.
We know how racist
You
and
can't
how
make
shit
this
works.
blanket statement in a situation that you're in.
The blanket statement part
do that.
is something that I can't rock with. You know what I mean? Because not only do we have some white people that may not be racist or that we know that's kind of cool, but you're putting a blanket statement and that's the shit they do to us. You know what I mean? That's the shit they do to us. They treat our communities like everybody is the same. You know what I mean?
And think about real quick with the mom. With the Blue Lives Matter mask, she brought up to the cop, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Her white skin, she brought to the cop. Her gun, she brought to the cop. So she's pointing all these things out to this officer, and this officer's feeling, I'm not defending this cop. I'm saying how her mind probably was going, feeling to defending herself.
Just
so
the
I'm
optics.
gonna stand my ground now.
Just the optics.
So now I'm not going anywhere. So you're black, you black bitch. This is what she said in her head. How dare you talk to me like this? I'm gonna stand right here, and I'm trying to get this boy in jail now. I'm trying to.
So I was gonna say something else, but okay. So you feel the officer standing there was an antagonistic move.
The mom was poking the bear. Well, the cop was poking the bear, Mama Bear first, and Mama Bear clapped back and her energy. It was next level, and her octave in her voice changed, and she started to really be vehement about it. And then filming, and I of course film by all means.
Film it all.
Please film. And sadly, sometimes that don't matter either. But film. Never stop filming. Get all the camera, get all the eyes you can, get all the angles you can. You know, because we know sometimes the body cam, it doesn't really matter, even when it's very, very visible for everybody to see. But Mama, I do, once again, I don't want to split hairs here, but what I wanted to make clear is the fact of the matter is she was defending her baby boy, who was a good college student, but the way Mama Bear was going about defending her son, and the bullet point she hit with this officer to antagonize this officer a bit more than she should have, the officer starts to ask for backup. This is when it's going to get worse and worse. It's going to get worse and worse. But I do want to ask you though, did nothing happen to this boy?
No, the officer finally, when the backup came, she went right to her cruiser, wrote the ticket. She went right to her cruiser, wrote the ticket, came back, was trying to get him to sign the ticket, but the mom was kind of putting the son behind her. No, put your right hand out, sign the ticket. At that point, the cop was a little shitty because she was like not trying to get on her property. So she was like, you told me not to get on your property. You know what I mean? So she was kind of shitty. She gave him the ticket, and then that was it. Then afterwards, to my understanding, you know, because of the outrage, Fox 40 came to the woman's house. Different news sources begin to come to the woman's house. This thing has gotten like 4 million views so far. Wow. So a lot of people are coming to her aid and just trying to figure out what's going on. You know what I mean? Right. And they were supposed to do a meeting. I think the city organized a thing where the cop, the police department, and the mother and the son would have a meeting to talk about it. See what happened. They didn't want to do that. Because they filed a complaint, I think, you can't actually sit and talk with the cop at that point. So they're filing a complaint. The mom is saying she wants the cop fired. She tired of being treated like this in America. You know what I mean? And again, I can't deny the fact that in our society, in our culture, we've been getting treated a particular way from police. I just want us to be as clear as possible on what we're looking at and not use as much emotion, because again, before the police officer said anything, the mom was on 10. The mom was on 10.
At least 8. At least. She went to 11 pretty fast. She went to 11 pretty fast.
And she's on the phone saying, I don't want my son to be another hashtag. She has her hand on her gun. I'm scared of her. Now, there is the flip side to that where white folks, when they in positions where they want to make sure they in the clear, when they want to make sure the legalities are on their side, they say all that shit too. They say, I'm scared for my life. I think this person's going to hurt me. They're using all those buzzwords that can get you fucked up. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Another thing in the video that I did notice the mom said I said, good for you. The mom said, I've been in Elk Grove for this long. I've been this long. And we have never any problem with these cops. Never any problems. I said, well, good for you. As black people in America, I wish it was that easy for us. Just walking down the street, having a jog, whatever may have you. But the fact of the matter is, since you didn't have run-ins with the officers, maybe she could have been a bit more calm dealing with this situation.
I see your point, because that, to me, being that honest, saying, I ain't never had no problem with none of y'all. She could have been like, every time y'all see us, y'all fucking. So you kind of right to a point. So if you've never had an incident with the Elk Grove Police Department, where is that animosity coming from? Because, dude,
the internet,
news stories and shit you seen. Because again, she was the antagonizer. I have to say that, family. But before the officer starts, the mom was on some, give him his ticket and get out of here, basically. What you doing? Go back to your cruiser, give him his ticket, you got his stuff.
I wouldn't say she became the antagonizer. She started with being very overprotective.
Yeah.
But it became antagonistic pretty fast. It did. The mother, what is a black mom supposed to do? What does she have? If your body doesn't matter, your voice has to. They're acting like black bodies don't matter, black tears don't matter, black fear.
Mm-hmm.
What about your black voice? So she was doing that and saying, look, this is my boy, but I felt like the battle needed to be fought a little bit more from his aspect and from his father's aspect to calm her down, because you know who runs that house. Okay? Y'all seen the video. Y'all seen the video. She's talking about her back was hurt and her back was thrown out. And you seen the video.
I didn't want to say that.
Yeah.
But as men, this is another point too. As men, this is the best way I can say it. We need to survey a situation involving our family and know when to step in.
Yes.
Right? And know when to, because my woman be talking shit and I'll be like, that shit, go ahead, do that shit, baby.
Yes.
But sometimes you got to be like, look, let's be calmer. Just so we can get to the boom, boom, boom. Because for this young man, she mentioned how he a college student, he doing good in school.
Yes.
More power to that young king. You feel me?
Come on.
But
registration, license, and insurance.
he had what the
He
fuck he
was
needed.
was decorated.
But you gotta let him talk, mama. You can't let him go through this experience. You right there. You ain't gonna let nobody fuck over your son.
Right.
But
You gotta go up at some point.
he gotta be able to talk.
You gotta be able to talk.
Officer.
You're
Yes,
not gonna
officer.
be with him all the time, mama. You're not. No.
So you can't tell him, no, you don't say nothing to her. You let me talk to her. See, that's now, because I understand being a black man who had just a mom, right? I had no dad there. Sometimes in our communities, the mother feel like she has to be not overbearing, but kind of.
She'll be both.
Damn near.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know, and I don't know if this young man had his father there. Her husband could be his father. They could have been living together his whole life.
Could be stepdad.
I'm not saying none of that.
don't know.
But just in general, in our communities, the mothers sometimes feel like they gotta boss up like that in those type of situations.
Very true.
Whereas, as men, we gotta help, because that cop. This is what I think, family. That cop could have took that aggression, like, get the fuck in the house. Get the fuck in the house.
She coulda.
Then what?
Then what?
Now the gun's out.
No,
now
no.
you probably gonna lower your voice and get to be diplomatic, family, until you see a time where you don't. Now, if the cop would have came on bullshit, like, because the mom came out and she was like, I heard you yelling at him from the loudspeaker. When I seen the mom's video, I'm thinking, yeah, why would you be just yelling at this kid? You being antagonistic before you even pull him over? From the cop's video, she was just saying pull on the right side.
And then the cop's video, when she says pull over, and he pulls up to the left side, the cop says, good Lord. And it was just like, he's not following my directions. That's what she was saying. I'm not, let me tell y'all something. I am very, very, I buck heads with the law sometimes in my life, and I am not one to sit here and be a proponent or defender of law enforcement. But there was situations in that video where the mother definitely could have created something that was tragic for her family and her family's lineage by some of the things that she was saying. So I don't think that was the right way to handle it. I do understand her energy. I just don't think it was the right way to handle it. I needed to say that.
You know what I mean? And we, the video's going viral. Everybody in my city is up in arms about it. And look, man, we got to deal with these cops. We got a lot of fuck shit going on in our community when dealing with authority figures, so I get it.
One thing we need to say is that nobody got hurt, and this is not another Stephante Clark. This is not. This is not what happened. His boy is fine and safe. He's probably on the couch with his mom right now talking about it. So we appreciate that. Okay, it's a small win for another black boy not being murdered in the street by law enforcement.
Let me ask you a question.
I use the term loosely. Law
This is
enforcement.
something else we didn't touch on. There was another video released. A young man, I forgot the young man's name. He's basically saying he got pulled over by the same cop 2 days earlier, 2 days after, something like that. But the cop just gave him the ticket and moved on.
Okay.
I'm gonna get your opinion, but this is what I think.
Is he a black boy too?
I don't know. I think he was either Mexican or black for sure.
Okay.
Because I seen his hand, and I'm thinking he's Mexican or black for sure, right? But here's the thing. I think if the young man would have never got out of the car, he would have had a ticket in 7 minutes. She would have been gone. Do you think it would have happened that way?
You know what? based off the cop's tone of voice, I can't really argue and say that it wouldn't have went that way. I feel like she wanted to write that ticket, meet her quota, and get on out of there.
Because it could have been, because I know they know the camera's on and shit, but I'm thinking most of them kind of forget and just start talking. She could have been antagonistic in her, because like you said, when she pulled him over, she was just like, ah.
Yeah. But speaking about cameras, though, the filming, though, because the mom said, I'm filming you, and the cop said, I'm filming you as well, and you can have this video.
Mm-hmm.
So that let me know that the cop was like, hey, man, I'm not really tripping, but don't make me trip.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the mom was like, no, I'm already tripping on you for even talking to my son.
See, and the thing we doing right now, to me, is using logic, and I think, like you said, the mom, the optics put her on 10. White lady, Blue Lives Matter. She mentioned something about a tattoo. Now, I'm not sure if the tattoo is gang related, but FBI said a few years ago that white supremacist organizations have infiltrated every level of law enforcement.
What's that name of that crew? They're out in LA.
There's definitely police gangs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they have tattoos
the biggest ones
that denote what gang they from or whatever. You know what I mean? So again, we can't take away why someone would feel this way about a police officer, but we can't escalate situations either. And this is something else. But before we end the show, we almost done. I want to, this is a side note, kind of. This is what I want to see from my people. So again, I understand the injustices. I'm personally gonna never stop talking about them, being as clear as I can about what I'm seeing.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I want us to have the same energy for everything that's fucking us up. So again, I'm not with the black on black crime shit. I don't use it in that form to degrade my people or use it as an example for some political shit. But at the end of the day, we do shit to each other too. So I want my people to start saying, yeah, police fuck us up, but Chicago, some shit's going on in Chicago too. Now, again, the Chicago shootings, I'm of the belief that cops could be instigating some of that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm never going to take
very possible
racism off the table. But I know in my city, it's a whole bunch of shootings and shit going on. You know what I mean?
One of the cheapest places in the nation to get a gun is Chicago.
Is that right?
Chicago is the city of Chicago. A Glock out there, you can get it for $200. That gun in Oregon, that gun in California, gonna cost you $700, $700. You get it for $200, $100 out there. Now, where are all they coming from? There's a lot of guns.
So we have to ask ourselves, the systems that we live in perpetuate the violence. In my opinion, they don't. The shit going on in Chicago, in my opinion, they don't police the way they should. They could stop some of this shit if they did some police work and knew what was going on and knew who was doing it. They can stop some of this shit. So again, we being manipulated by the system, but at the end of the day, like what I've been telling people, a lot of the topics that I've been touching on, we gonna talk about the system and what they've done to us, but we need to be that hard on our own people too. When we see our own people doing fuck shit that's not gonna benefit the community. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that was a really interesting situation. She's filing a complaint. I'm not too sure what the end result of that's going to be. I've read some articles where investigators have looked into it and they seen nothing, no wrongdoing in the video. But when I see shit like that, I don't take it to heart as much, because even when it be wrong shit in the video, they come out and say they didn't see no wrong. You know what I mean? Right. They always protecting each other. So I don't know if they really being honest or if they're just protecting their goddamn officer. You know what I mean?
Because the police unions, after 1% of cops that murder on the job are convicted. Half of that percent ever see any disciplinary action. Think about that. 1%, then a half of that percent. This is what we're dealing with. This is how powerful unions are. You know what I mean? So it's a crazy situation. Crime is money. There's no crime. They don't have all these bills getting passed. So we know crime is lucrative. Is crime always us? No way. There's buttons, but everybody, crime is it's not going anywhere. I'm just saying, let's not help these people by being criminal ourselves, hurting ourselves.
That's the best way to say it, because I'm always going to have a conversation out of love.
Yeah.
And if I love somebody, I have to be honest with them. And a lot of the little niggas I see in the street now, let's be contextual.
Little Thundercats, huh?
Let's be contextual. Some of them, don't got fathers because of the
prison?
The prison industrial
Better
complex.
believe it.
Some of them, moms have been on drugs and shit like that because of the crack cocaine that was dumped in our neighborhood, right? So this is what we dealing with. But I'm beginning to ask my people, knowing all of this, what we gonna do? So we know the pitfalls. We know the trapping, so to speak, that's been laid out for us. How can we help? Best way to say it.
There's trap doors everywhere. There's a line on Django. We got to be exceptional Negroes. We got to be exceptional Negroes out here. We can't just be good. We got to be exceptional. There's trap doors everywhere. Let's not let our kids fall through them, or y'all, or me, or him fall through them.
And calling that out, there's nothing wrong with calling that out. If I'm gonna talk about white supremacy, if I'm gonna talk about the cops coming into my neighborhood, I'm gonna talk about the nigga selling dope in the neighborhood too. Now I get it, I'm giving you the reasons why he would be a person that possibly sells drugs because of everything that went on in his life. But at what point are we gonna say, look, I know what happened to you, I know what's going on with you, let me educate you. Read this book. See what I'm saying? As parents,
you already sell this, sell something else. That's not hurting our community.
You know what I mean? Some of the young dudes on the street are actually great fucking businessmen.
Excellent.
They just need to push that into another direction.
And you already are a businessman.
You know what I mean?
You know, you're just selling something that can get you locked up or killed.
We just need to realize, okay, this is what has been set up for us. These are the circumstances that we've been put into. Let me try my best to maneuver around this system without getting too caught up in it. You know what I mean? And as parents, because a part of my platform, the bigger part of my platform, Melanated Fathers of America, being a father of five, like I always say, it's extremely important that we particularly attempt to raise our kids the best way we can, whatever resources that we have, and that starts with us. So yes, the system has done a lot of shit to our family, has done a lot of shit to the black family in general, but let's not help them, y'all. To me, a 16, 17, 18-year-old person having a baby with no resources, with no job, you're a part of the problem, damn near. I'm sorry to tell you that. You're a part of the problem. A young dude who decide not to work, who think work ain't cool, who think getting a job ain't cool. You can get a little job at McDonald's, but you rather slang them packs because you don't want to work for the man. That's counterproductive to me. That's counterproductive to me because we need to know how to humble ourselves. We listen to all this hip hop. You know what I mean? Because I'm a huge proponent of hip hop.
Love it.
I don't think I'm ever gonna stop listening to shit.
Never.
I'm gonna be 60 rapping some of this shit, right?
It doesn't matter.
But we have to understand what it does to a young mind. If you a young person in a community that these rappers are talking about, you may think the glorification of his words is the direction to go instead of listening to the lessons. Because I can put you up on a whole bunch of rappers.
Isn't it interesting how you've been selling dope for 20 years? When you rap, but you sell records, but you sell dope the whole time. Seriously? You got time for all that? You got time to make records, then go sell dope? Stop it. So why are you saying that? So why are you still saying that though? Who are you talking to? Who do you want to act that way? We all know who you're swaying. What other music is as damaging as some rap music is to the people that listen to it?
You know what I mean?
I'm not quite sure.
You know what I mean?
I'm not quite sure. But who's controlling the music?
Yeah, see? And these record companies, because again, I can't fault a young black man who never had nothing, who being dangled this carrot, sign with me, I'll give you this.
360 deal.
I can't knock you for accepting that deal, but at the same time, everybody should be looking to be of service to their people. This is my opinion. Some motherfuckers will say, I'm gonna just chase my money and worry about my immediate family, and that's my only goal. Fine, but that's not gonna help us all. My whole mentality is a group think mentality. Like, how can all of us be in a better place? And we got to call out everything we see at every turn. And the hip hop shit, as much as I love it, I'm not going to stop listening to it. I'm going to tell you that right now. But there's certain variations of the music where I'm listening and I'm hearing like, oh.
Right. But then, real quick, hip hop, higher infinite power, helping our people. That's how hip hop is.
I like that.
That's what hip hop. That's Professor Griff's words. This is how hip hop was born. This is how hip hop is supposed to be. Then you have rap, trap music. You got all this. It has been deciphered and broken down all type of ways. But let's underline the importance of how hip hop began and what hip hop means. Higher infinite power, helping our people. That's hip hop.
That's some deep shit right there. And when my kids growing up, I've always tried to show them that side of it, because that's why we love it, right? It's the wordplay, it's the coming from nothing now having something.
That's right.
It's the storytelling. Like some of these niggas is brilliant. Like if you wrote down their words, this is some Mozart shit. This is like some poetic. You know what I mean?
KRS-One's name is Knowledge Reigns Supreme. I mean, Come on. That name, that's dope.
And but we need to realize about the hip hop game, it's a younger man's game. So unfortunately, the KRS-Ones of the world, the Commons of the world, the Talib Kwelids of the world, young people ain't fucking with them.
But see, but then we have young people like a D Smoke. Like a
True.
D Smoke.
True.
The young guy coming up, well, early 30s, whatever.
Yeah.
School teacher, speaks fluent Spanish, is a teacher, is a boxer, it can rap his butt off.
What?
Like, this is a special. We need to follow him. Another young brother that I like that I'm following, a young rapper. A brother from Louisiana. He's also a school teacher. That's interesting as well. D1. DEE-1.
I heard about him.
Doesn't curse. Very wholesome, but he's a great rapper. But I need to big up some of these more positive people that are still right now doing their thing, who people talk about.
But these companies don't promote these guys.
No way.
Like D Smoke, even though he won that show.
Yes.
And I think he has a great following.
Yes.
I don't know kids who listen to that. Most of the young people I know, they into the trap type. That's more appealing for some reason to a young minds.
That type stuff.
Who ain't talking about a goddamn thing. Who's like on some ABC rap shit.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? Like on some ABC.
What are you offering us?
You know what I mean?
Are
but
you
the
done?
kids, it's like the kids' minds don't want that deepness. You know what I mean?
They want to turn up.
They want the vibe.
Ratchet.
They just want to vibe on some shit.
They want the vibe.
And that's cool, but that's why I used to make sure I showed my older sons the difference is, rock with Chief Keef, but listen to Jay-Z last album. Listen to you ain't gotta like the album, but hear it. See why he became important.
Go back and listen to Scarface.
You know what I mean?
Listen to old school Scarface. Listen to old school E40. Educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Listen to some old LL. You know what I'm saying? Listen to some Big Daddy Kane. Like go back, man. Like, it's a great rabbit hole to go down. Listen to some Tribe Called Quest. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of better to learn the history of anything you're fucking with. In my opinion, if you really love hip hop, you love the music you hear.
That's right.
How about you find out the origins of it?
That's right.
That'll probably, you know what I mean?
That's right.
You know what I mean? So this has been a great episode, man. I thank my boy JB, my lifelong friend. This has been my brother for 25, almost 30 years now.
Room to the tomb.
You know what I mean? So I appreciate him coming on the show and spitting with me today, man. And we love our people. It's about loving our people, but being critical and being honest and having honest dialogue. You feel me? So this has been another episode, man, of the Melanated Convo podcast. You can find the show at melanatedfathers.com. You can find the show on Melanated Fathers TV on YouTube, Saturdays, 6 p.m. Tune in. If you haven't been to the website lately, Melanated Fathers, go to the website. There's a History Matters section. There's a community forum section. There's a book of the month. There's the latest news stories going on in the community. There's articles about parenting. Go to the website if you haven't. If your kids don't know a lot about history, go to the website. Go to the History Matters section. The articles are short. Made for short attention spans. The articles are short. Read the article, get some perspective. Maybe you can go do more research about the person or the topic that may interest you. You feel me?
Melanated Fathers of America. Follow him.
Follow me on Instagram, Melanated Fathers TV. I'm sorry, Melanated Fathers 100 on Instagram. Melanated Fathers 100 on Instagram. What's your Instagram, JB?
I'm Born to Grub on IG. Born to Grub. I'm a chef. I love cooking. You can text me about advice, cooking tips. Holler at me, Born to Grub. I'm trying to empower kids and anybody who wants to learn, especially the little lovely black kids.
Definitely. So I want to thank everybody, man, for tuning into another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast.